Hello, in this video we will be discussing Horace Mann, including his biography, his contributions to education, and the lasting impact he has had in the education system. For Mr. Pennington's EDCI 2210 course for the spring semester of 2018. The group members are Priscilla Ramirez, Jacob Ramirez, Jesma Martinez, Jose Chong, and Regina Rodriguez. We hope you enjoy the presentation.
Horace Mann was born on May 4, 1796, in Franklin, Massachusetts. He was a great and widely known advocate for education, and he is still remembered today because of his contributions. Horace Mann grew up surrounded by poverty. The education he obtained was from poor and local teachers. He received tutoring from Samuel Barrett, who helped him to enroll in Brown University at the age of 20, where he studied and focused on education and politics. Horace Mann chose law as a career, and after graduating from Brown University, he attended Litchfield Law School. He returned to Massachusetts, settling in Dedham, where he practiced law for several years before winning a seat in the House of Representatives. He served as a legislative position as a representative from 1827 to 1833. After his time as a representative, he served as senator from 1835 to 1837. In 1837, the state of Massachusetts organized a state board of education and offered Mann the position of the secretaryship of the board. He served at the board for 11 years, making many contributions, including a common school journal for teachers. He wrote 12 annual reports to the board in which he discussed problems in education and made many propositions to improve it. He resigned his position in the board in 1848 and took seat in Congress, where he advocated against slavery. In 1853, he was offered the presidency of Antioch College at Ohio, where he had continued serving and advocating for education. Horace Mann died at the age of 63 in Yellow Springs, Ohio, on August 2, 1859.
One of Horace Mann's biggest contributions to education was calling for the public funding and for the government to have control over common schools, which then led to schools being given better equipment and better building environments. It was during his campaign for the spot of President of the Senate of Education in Massachusetts and him seeing all of the school's problems and needs that gave him the drive to fix the school's environments. This led him to be known as the father of common schools. Another contribution that he gave to education was the formation of a system of centralized teacher training facilities along with teacher certification programs and procedures. While he wasn't the one who invented schools to teach teachers, Horace Mann was the one who drove it to become bigger and much more of a requirement for teachers. He, along with a team of other people, were able to put together a list of qualifications and procedures for a teacher to become fully certified, because since as a kid he strove hard to be educated, he wanted to make sure that he was sending out qualified teachers that would properly teach those students. This then led to the implementation of more teacher teaching schools and more common schools.
Because Mann strongly believed in a government that represented the needs of the people, it pushed him to fight for education. He believed that education was a right to all children and that schools should be inclusive. Mann contributed to the common school movement. This movement began in the 1830s, which would be a tax-funded, well-developed state public education system. In 1837, Mann was elected secretary of the newly formed Massachusetts Board of Education. In 1837, Mann was elected secretary of the newly formed Massachusetts Board of Education. Mann saw that education hadn't changed since he was a kid. His idea was to change the way teachers taught in the classroom and the way teachers were trained. To those teachers already in the field, he wrote a journal titled Common School Journal that provided his ideas. Mann established normal schools. These schools were schools attended by teachers in order to gain pedagogical knowledge. Mann also believed that the public school should maintain, pay, and control public education. He believed that teachers needed to be well trained to be good teachers, and that schools should practice democratic ideals. Today, we use Mann's concept of a democratic classroom and believe that teachers need a higher education, which has been intensified over the past few years.
Horace Mann, father of common school movement, single-handedly improved the education system by believing that public education was an equalizer between students. He implemented how classes should be combined together, regardless of socioeconomic status. Thanks to Horace insisting on combining and changing the education system, many of us are able to have a seat in a classroom. Horace Mann was a huge long effect on education by promoting free public schooling. Because of him, every child is able to have a chance of education. His work is very much still executed in today's education system. Horace Mann also had a big influence on the amount of education a teacher needs, which is the minimum for a teacher to teach a subject she is perfectly knowledgeable about. It's a 4-year degree, which is a bachelor's. So thanks to Horace Mann's influence in the education system, children throughout time will be affected in the best way with teachers that are able to teach the best they can.